afternoon.
I thank God every day for this opportunity
Yes,
to
that's
be
great.
with you
That's
all,
great.
to share information. And I think, in particularly today, I just got back from Florida a couple of 2 hours ago on a United Airlines plane.
Whoa, whoa.
And that's a plane that I don't recommend. I mean, it's been falling all over the place. So you can imagine, I'm really thanking God for saving me. So I just got back because I was down there with some relatives. One of my sister-in-law, 25th retirement celebration. She's been dealing with children for that many years. She's going to be on my show one day because that's what I'm going to have next week, I think, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We're
Next
gonna
week
have
coming up.
people
Yes.
talking about the youth and young people and what they've done. So I went down there to support her, and that's in West Palm Beach. And I stayed with another sister in Jupiter, and I tell you, the wine men dined me so in wine because I didn't drink any wine, but
They died you.
Yeah. The interesting, Terry.
Yes, yes.
For breakfast, I went to church with them that Sunday. Got there Saturday. They took me out to lunch that
Yes.
Sunday. We went to church. From church, we went to breakfast.
Okay.
They took me a place called Pete's Place.
Oh.
Now, Pete is my husband. My didn't say.
Yeah. Okay.
For 55.
Yeah, yes.
It was so interesting, so ironic, but it was nice. I so enjoyed it. So I'm just really getting. And then I had went to the affair Sunday in West Palm Beach.
Oh, that's great.
Extraordinary. And then I got on the plane this morning and knew that I had to get back to do the show and things.
Yeah, you do a lot of traveling. Yeah.
No, but I thank God that I'm here. Thank God for this opportunity, as I said before, because I'm so thankful for us to have the opportunity to share.
Man, this is beautiful. It's a beautiful
And
platform.
I want to thank my crew, my producer, Sheila Brown Bird, and Lula Salvador. And I think my advisor, who's not here, is Ramadan, and she's doing the thing in Ramadan.
Yes.
Boots, I call her Bootsy, but Juanita McClure. I want to thank my little promo crew.
Yes,
keeping the message going.
The children.
That's Halim and Elijah. And I certainly want to thank Norm, this young man here who keep us going.
That's right.
He
runs the studio.
Yes,
It's beautiful. Beautiful job.
Me the space.
That's right.
And of course, I thank you, my co-host. I tell you, what? I had to just read this little bit of bio on you,
Okay, but you know me.
I know you, but I want anybody else.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Editor and publisher, author of essays, books, plays, and poems. Retired English professor who taught at Union County College, Essex County College, New Jersey University, and King University. Host of Profiles in Classic R&B, a daily music blog on Facebook, and I watch that. It's very interesting.
Yes.
A lot of things that I'm still learning.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's our music, and I don't ever want us to forget that, because what happens a lot of times, we throw our stuff away.
Right.
Then they bring it back to us, and they tell us that they are the originators of this, and we don't want that. This is our black music.
We're going to talk about that because
That's right. Yeah.
Coming out now with Beyonce, the country music.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that we create.
Well, of course, no.
But we were the origin of the country music.
Yeah.
The bangos.
But look, we got Charlie Pride, right?
Yeah.
Ray Charles.
Right.
Ray Charles, a lot of country western
right,
music.
they sang it, but I don't know if they knew the depth of the history.
The originators.
And that's the good thing to know the history.
It is. It is.
You
Yeah.
should know that we created most of anything. Everything. You know what? But we're still in the middle of Women's History Month.
Oh, yeah, and it's a great thing.
Do I have some extraordinary ladies on today?
Oh, yes,
But before I
we do.
bring my guests on, I want to, first of all, let me just say about, you all know me.
Yes.
You all know I'm Rudy Williams Shivers, that unapologetic amateur, still looking for experts.
Yes.
And you know my dedication and devotion to our black men. But I'm equally devoted and dedicated to black women. But we've always sort of managed the challenges that we have. Not that our men haven't.
Yeah,
but they have had a lot more.
Yes, it's different. It's a little different.
And so it's always sort of undergirded them.
Of course.
And so that's when you see me, even with the book I wrote, Ode to the Black not dismissing us as black women, because we certainly have gone through so much and still going through.
Yes, of course.
But what we do, we sort of like to undergird our men because we know they're great.
It's important. We need that support continuously.
Right.
Yeah.
And because we know they're great. Now, I've come up with something. No, I ain't come up with nothing. God has It's in my head. I always
Yes,
tell
yes,
people,
yes,
when I
yes.
come up with,
It's
when I say
creativity.
these activities,
Yes,
he gives them to me.
of course, of course.
What I want us to start
Okay,
doing,
let's do it. Let's do it.
my guests, not my guests, I mean, my viewers,
Yes, yes.
my family.
Mm-hmm.
I got an idea that God has given me, and I
Mm-hmm.
see what we can do with
We
that.
do it. Yes.
It's a challenge. I want us to play a game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know how we have been taught to dismiss us as African people, to hate ourselves,
Yes, yes.
to discourage us from doing whatever we needed to do because we think that by pointing the finger at us, you know, we don't know where it's come from. So I want to play a game, Terry.
Okay,
I
all right.
thought of this, I said, well,
Let's try it. Let's see what we can do here.
And rather than looking at each other immediately from a point of view of the thug, the ghetto, the whatever else they have
Yes,
put
all
on
those
us.
stereotypes and
Stereotypes.
and memes, you know.
Let's reverse that.
Okay, all right.
I'm
game.
challenging you all.
I'm game.
Next time you see a brother or a sister, I don't care in what position they are in, what condition, what capacity, what they're doing. Look at, well, first of all, let me say to you, our history shows that most of us, or at least many of us, who were kidnapped and brought over here from our homeland were kings and queens and royalty and all the whole 9 yards, right?
Yes, yes.
So we're going to start imagining that when we meet our brothers and sisters on the street or elsewhere, that they are those queens that they brought over.
Yes, yes.
So when I see one of my brothers wherever, I'm going to think Queen Esquia. I mean, King Esquia. Or I'm going to think Queen or Queen Ndinga. Or Queen Nefertiti.
Yes, yes.
I'm going to think that. I'm going to look at them and see them, visualize these queens that they brought over from Africa in my head. And I want you all to do that for me. Now, will you do that for me? Each one of your brothers and sisters you meet on the street or wherever from here on, you just imagine one of the queens, and I'm going to start throwing you those names out, and I'm going to give you the history behind them. Right now, we got some queens here today that I'm not going to get into that with you know, that's kind of lengthy, and it's, we got to get some of the names together.
Yeah, right. We'll
but to the extent that I want you to start that right now,
Okay.
I'd appreciate it. That way we can look at ourselves, look at each other differently than we've ever looked at ourselves before.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah, because when we look at ourselves differently, we rise to the occasion.
Rise to the occasion. Rise to the occasion. But as I said before, we got some queens here today.
That's right.
My guests today are Jerry Wood Cole. I'm going to read her biography, but she is, I'm going to want you to read that, Terry, for me.
Okay,
But right now I'm
okay.
just going to say Jerry Wood Cole, and then we have Sister Tiffany Barker.
Tiffany Barker.
You know, she has a podcast here.
Yes.
Great young lady.
Yes.
And I'm still looking for Sister Tia Bay. Oh, there she is. Okay, she's here.
Okay.
Zooming in on her.
That's the Tia Bay.
That's the Tia Bay. So I think we're going to bring Tiffany on. Is Tiffany on? Tiffany not on yet?
Okay.
Well, in that case, we're going to bring a Tia Bay on.
Okay.
Hi, Tia.
Peace, family. How are you, Umi
Peace.
Shivers?
Yes.
I'm honored to be here today.
It's
Thank
my
you.
pleasure to have you here.
To you and your co-host and your team.
How you
Okay.
doing?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to read it in the bio, and then
Thank
we are
you.
going to ask you. Okay, do that.
Okay,
for me.
I'll do the honors here. You know, again, and you know, it's a brief bio, but I know you have so much more to share. But we just want to get everybody into who you are. And,
Not a problem.
It says here, Sister Bay is a freelance journalist, a self-employed co-founder, working in spite of Learning Center, YISO, a not-for-profit organization of youth and adults, including visual impaired individuals, offering multimedia reading and comprehension, math, English, phonics tools are used with group or individual PC tutoring, academic skill programs, leadership development, and effective communication skills. And Sister Bay is a co-founder of the Majestic Eagles, Newark chapter, and executive board member of the Save the Seed Incorporated. And Sister Bay is a publicist, community activist, and has been serving as a community outreach volunteer for numerous organizations. Says here some of Sister Bay's personal achievement goals have been as typesetter of Born to Win by author and former co-anchor John Ray. And so it just shows here that you are definitely a master of many trades and many experiences. And then we welcome you.
Yeah,
to
we
the
welcome you, my
program.
sister. And first question I have is, how did you get involved starting in all these endeavors? Not just all of them. I've known you for a while. I was telling Jerry, we got Jerry here. I told her that you
Yes,
was
I
there.
can't
She
wait
should
to
get
see her.
right.
That is
So,
great. That is great.
yeah, I met you from years ago when you were just a little young thing, and of course, it had to be some years ago. If I meet you when I was young, you had to be
Yes.
even.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can know
definitely,
that.
yeah.
But anyway, and I think it was my first book, and you was very interested, and you kind of encouraged me, and that so I know that you've been doing work in the community and for the community all for years, all your life, I guess. So give us an idea of how you got started and what you
Before
started
I,
on.
That's a good
oh,
question.
go
That's
ahead.
a good
I
question.
apologize.
That's okay. How you got started and what you started on.
All right. Well, first, I want to give it back to you and your co host for that brief bio that you
Yeah,
did on myself,
yeah.
and to ask you, do you recall that my organization at Essex County College or honored you and a few other women at
Oh,
Essex
wow.
County
That's what
College,
it
and we
was.
promoted your
Uh-huh.
book at that
Yes,
time? So I
yes,
Right.
just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Uh-huh.
How did I get started? Ever since I was young, like approximately 15 years of age,
Right.
wow.
I became an entrepreneur with Fuller Products Company, not the Fuller Brush man, not the European, who
Mm-hmm.
was out selling soap. All
Yes,
right.
yes.
I mean selling soap. We're talking about Mr. S.B. Fuller out of Chicago,
Oh,
who
okay.
ended up hiring like 300 of brothers and sisters, people who was of Asiatic persuasions, and
Mm-hmm.
he also started with his own products,
Okay.
selling products manufactured by us,
Mm-hmm.
our people of African descent, sold to our people of African descent. So that was my very first job, part time,
Mm-hmm.
going in certain communities in New York and New Jersey. And I was an entrepreneur, and I got encouraged because of my grandparents. My grandparents are sharecroppers. I'm the oldest of the grandchildren on my mother's side. And to see their their hard work, and to know
Mm-hmm.
that my mother was in the field as a young teenager,
Wow.
um, pulling, what did they say, with the cotton, like 100 barrels of cotton
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
daily.
remember.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine us city people going down there in the South doing that?
we
I
couldn't do
don't
it. We
think so.
couldn't do it.
No.
But I got started because my mother is, well, she's deceased now, but she was a community well, not really a community activist. She was a missionary.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She was always lending her time and her efforts in helping the parents and the children at Head Start schools because of her having 7 children. And I do need to say that I'm the oldest of 7 children. My mother passed when I was only 20. So
Mm-hmm.
the twins was only 4, one was 5, and one was 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I became like their mother,
Of course.
Okay.
and that drove me. Y'all know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That gave me the motivation that I needed to not be lazy, to
Mm-hmm.
move forward. Didn't have time to do anything except assist my father, along with my one brother and my other sister, who was 19 and 18. I was 20,
Right.
to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that we stay cohesive as a loving family and we stayed together. And my father did not have to worry about whether he was going to relocate or ship my younger 4 siblings down south to where his parents lived in Jacksonville, Florida. So I was involved in many nonprofit organizations since a young age, and I was their secretary most of the time. And
Okay.
as I developed, I became a publicist
Okay.
and a freelance journalist. I even went to certain colleges and I got my degree. So I'm just blessed that I didn't give up on life,
Yeah,
because
that's
I could have.
beautiful.
My
Yeah, you
mother
could
was
have.
my
Yeah.
best friend and the only person I ever knew at the age of 20
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
who
Mm-hmm.
had had transpired and became an ancestor. Both sets of grandparents was alive,
wow.
and all I knew was family.
Right.
That's all I knew. To this day, I still only know family.
Right,
Right. Well, I tell you,
right.
that's the village concept. That's where
what it
that's
is.
that's
Yeah.
the
That's
whole
exactly what it
motivation
is.
of our existence. You know,
Yeah,
the village, we family oriented.
That's right.
That's what we had, and that's all we had at one point. And that's not because of that, but because if we knew our history even back before we was kidnapped, we were very family
That's right.
conscious, very
Yeah.
oriented. Well, I'm gonna bring my other guest, and you hold that. I'm
Awesome.
gonna be asking you some other question. But I
No
just want to
problem. Thanks.
introduce another fantastic lady. I tell you, I've known this lady for years. She's been doing everything for everybody all the time. She put so many people on the top of the heap.
That's right.
You know, and she's just kind of just low keyed in herself. She's not flamboyant, and she just does what she does. And that's Miss Geraldine Woods Coles. Okay, I'm gonna let Terry read the bio here, and we're gonna ask a few questions.
Yes, again, really glad to meet you. And it says here, born in Youngstown, Ohio, and relocated to Newark, New Jersey. Served as a procurement agent for the Department of Defense, and a 20-year career with the Internal Revenue Service. Finally, as management analyst, you was president of Jerry Woods Coles and Associates Public Relations, serving as a publicist and a consultant to business and professional organizations. A former vice president of the Urban League Guild of Essex County. You're also a president of the Union County Urban League Guild and national treasurer of the National Council of Urban League Guilds. You have served as a past president of the National Business and Professional Women's Club Incorporated of Union County. You've been active in Bethany Baptist Church for over 25 years, co-chairing the Black College Committee and chairing public relations. You graduated with honors with a Bachelor of Science degree from St. Peter's College, Jersey City, New Jersey. You were also vice president, owner, operator of Everything Yogurt in Newark International Airport. You have served as a public relations director for the North Athletic Hall of Fame. And again, that's just a few things that you've done, and we really I'm honored to be in your presence.
Yes, yes. Now, with all that, you got to explain to us, how did you initially become involved with just service?
That's right.
You know, because that's basically, if you notice, you was at the Urban League,
That's
you
right.
did
Yeah,
that, you know,
yes.
service-oriented. How did you do that? What motivated you?
That's a good question.
Well, I always I was a people person. My family was always, they were doers. So I got it from an early age of just doing for others. And then when I became, worked at the Defense Department, there was a black Democrat who got the job for me. And that really motivated me to help others. If I was climbing the ladder, bring someone else along.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah.
So I started to, with the Urban League, I worked for them, and I also became a member of the Urban League Guild, the Women's Auxiliary, and I was, vice president of the Essex County and president of Union County.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that motivated me to, to help others. And then I got involved in other organizations, and from there it went on and on and on.
Now, you're a sorority sister, too. Which one of the sororities?
No, I didn't pledge.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't pledge.
Why you didn't pledge when you were trying to get me to go? Remember years ago you were...
Yeah, Deltas I was.
Yeah, right. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Well, let me just talk about this other... Did Tiffany come on yet, Norm?
Hey, my Ruby.
Oh, hello. Let me just read a little bit about her. She's a host, a speaker, and radio host. She's born in Manhattan to Calvin Barker and Rose Dunn. Tiffany Barker, who currently resides in New Jersey, has always been known to have the gift to gab, and she does, and do all that she could do to see people smile. Known for bringing people together, she finds great joy in helping others learn to love themselves, love others, and live in love on a daily basis. Now, Tiffany, who was raised in church all of her life, has a passion to serve, to search out the things of God, and to seek ways to lead people to Christ. At present, she has the honor of being a member of Bethlehem Judea Christian Fellowship, located in Elizabeth, New Jersey, where Bishop Anthony W. Gilliard is the senior pastor. And she is an executive assistant full-time, is the founder and CEO of Making Me Matter radio show. She'll talk about that because she's the author of the book, The Unknown Journey to Joy, How to Transition from Mourning, or M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, to Mourning, M-O-R-N-I-N-G. Had a T-shirt business called All About the Tea, and is the founder, CEO of the very successful sisterhood group called Unbothered the Movement, which consists of 700 plus women from all over and is growing. She attended Mercer College, County Community College, majoring in criminal law, and desires to go back to school to obtain her law degree. Her favorite book is the Bible. Okay, her favorite scripture is Colossians 3:23-24. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. 24, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. Now, that's a lady of me. You know who she are and who she are. That's Tiffany. So how you doing, Tiffany? Now, like I asked the other one, how did you get into this? How did you become interested in doing all those things that you're doing?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good question.
My Ruby, first of all, I'm just so glad to be sitting on here with you. Do you hear me?
My pleasure.
It is just an honor just to be on your platform, and I'm just grateful for this time.
Thank you.
To be honest with you, I'm just going to be very candid.
Please.
I was raised that I can do anything that comes across my mind. And so if there's an element of me that if there is something that I believe I can do to help or that's going to be beneficial, I don't care how many items it is, I believe I can do all of it. That's how I get caught up in all of these things.
Now, how well you do a good job. I tell you that. I've been watching.
Thank you, my Ruby. Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us about.
But yeah, it started when I was younger. I used to watch the news all of the time with my mom and my grandmother, and my nana used to listen to 1010 Wins. And so growing up, I've always just been exposed to certain things.
Right.
And I started off wanting to be an anchor woman when I was a child, when I was like 6. Wanted to be a news anchor, then wanted to do journalism, and said, you know what, maybe I'll just stick with communications, that whole journalism radio piece.
Right.
But I also love to see people get vindicated. So there's always been something in me that's like, I should be a lawyer, but then I'm like, I don't have what it takes to be a lawyer. But I'm like, what do you know who you are? You know what your parents said about you? Right. There's nothing that you can't do. So that's why I'm almost 100 years old going back to school.
Now, Tiffany, who's talking about age around here?
we don't talk about age here.
Hey, did you hear the questions last week I asked, that he asked me about age?
Asked her how old she was.
Did you hear and did you hear the answer? I asked him what did he have in his bank account.
She made it personal.
Since he wouldn't tell me what he had in his bank account, I figured I didn't need to tell him how old I was.
That's right.
But Tiffany, the age thing, I tease about it because I think a lot of people think people are ashamed to tell their age or afraid. It's not that in this Western society. No. You better not, because you see what's happening with president.
Right.
What's his name?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, right?
Yeah.
They're all on him, and they claim he's done more than any other president ever.
In spite of his age.
In spite of his age. So what's the
age? In spite of his age.
And so what's the age got to do with it? But it shows you in this Western society. That's why many people will conceal or refrain from talking about their ages. Not that they're ashamed of it, because they're very, they feel very good that they lived that long. Because they didn't live this long, you wouldn't be here.
That's right.
So they feel that that's good. But it's in Africa. I was telling him I've been to Africa many times, and the reverence, they revere elders and things over there.
Yes,
So
yes,
it's a
yes,
difference
yes,
in
yes,
in that. So when you talk about age, it's just one of those things. In Western society, it's like a no.
Yeah.
You know,
And I like to say that age is a number, but not a
Huh.
limitation. How
right?
about that?
They never have been because it shows
That's
you.
right.
You got that?
Yeah, shows you that
That's right.
with age comes wisdom,
wisdom,
and with
that's right,
age
that's
comes
right.
knowledge of
That's
what
right.
you can do and what you
That's-
can't
that's
do.
right,
One of the
that's right.
reasons I can say I'm an unapologetic amateur
Mm-hmm.
looking for expert
Mhm.
because it's my age and wisdom that shows me that I don't know everything.
Yeah, you're old enough
Yeah.
to know what you don't
No,
know.
yeah, right. Old enough to know what I don't know.
That's right.
That is so
Beautiful.
good. So I'm going to get back to Jerry. I wanted to find out from Jerry. You know, I think you've heard my guest, Jerry. She's got so much going for her because Jerry has been out there doing a whole lot for other
That's
people
right, that's right.
who've gotten a whole lot of credit because
That's
they've
right.
gone to high places.
That's right.
And Jerry just sort of undergirds them. You were assistant to, tell us about the assistant to the lieutenant governor.
Mm-hmm.
And I know she passed, but you're very much involved with her.
Yes, I worked for her for 13 years and as a legislative aide,
Mm-hmm.
and we were friends for like 40 years.
Yes, yes.
And she was one brilliant woman, an icon and trailblazer, and it was just wonderful to be in her company because she taught you a lot.
Yeah.
She was a
Yes,
mentor.
Yeah.
And she even took me to the White House, and I met Michelle and Barack Obama.
Yeah, I think I saw a picture with you all in
Yeah,
That's
sure
amazing.
did.
So
That's
that was an
amazing, yeah.
ecclesiastic experience.
I can imagine. I can
to
imagine.
meet
Oh,
them.
man, that's great. That
And
is
when
great.
I met him, I said to him, I pray for you every day. And he
Yes,
said,
that's
please
important.
don't stop.
Yeah.
And he reached down and gave me a hug. And
Oh,
so
man, that's
she
beautiful.
did too. I
That's-
said
that's
that was
great.
a real experience to be there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And
the highlight.
when I was there at the reception, Quincy Jones was there at our
Oh,
table as
wow.
well.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, man.
And that was just one of the greatest experiences in life to meet the
can
black
imagine.
president,
Yes. Oh, man.
Yeah.
first black president of the United States.
Yes, yes,
And that's something that'll be with you for forever.
Got
yes.
a little applause going on there, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
right?
Can I
yes.
get some applause?
You get it? You know that. Yeah.
Yes.
I admire the way Jerry, our friend here, Tiffany Barker, she's a podcaster also, and she gets on here and she just gives the applause. And I said to Norm, I said, Norm, I want to learn how to do that.
Why can't we
'Cause
do
we're
that, you know? Come on now.
getting it all from Tiffany. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Tiffany.
But yeah, I was so impressed when you went to the White House, and I saw the picture because that was about one of my. I don't even need to say that. One of my very favorite presidents.
Yeah,
you
no
know,
doubt
that
about
it.
that goes without
Yeah,
saying.
the best.
Goes without
the
saying.
best.
And Tiffany, I want you to talk about the organization that the women organization that I went for. Because see, she's always pulling women together, which we should do. We need to undergird each other, and try to make us great.
That's right. Right.
Everybody knows how I glorify and dedicate myself to men, black men. Not that I don't black women. It's just that I know we have not had the challenges they have. I mean, we have had challenges, but not to the extent that they have. And we've always had to sort of undergird them, try to lift them up and make sure that they understood that they're somebody. So that's just something we do. And of course, I wrote the book, a book, Ode to the Black Man,
That's right.
very seriously trying to undergird and trying to lift them up, to let them know we do think that they are the kings and queens that were brought over here when we were stolen out of Africa. Yeah. Now, where's Atia? Did Atia leave us?
I'm here.
She's right there.
Oh, okay.
I'm
there
here.
she
I'm
is.
not going nowhere. Let's not
She's in the
just kick
left
me
hand
off.
corner.
Left-hand corner. So, Tia, I was going to ask
Yes.
you the question, too. What advice, we see people out here wanting to do things. There are many people who just want to
That's
do
right, that's
things.
right.
And you're so dogmatic at yours, dogged at yours. So how would you advise people to just continue or to go forward or to initiate
Yes.
things to do for our people?
Well, first, I just want to share being a former proud member of Love is for Everyone Coalition Life, which consisted of non-profit organizations working with our Newark Honorable Mayor Ras J. Baraka's initiative, Community Engagement Project in Newark, New Jersey, was very good for me, and it has helped so many people in the community going out with him, actually engaging with the people on their streets and asking them what concerns they have. You have to get in the streets. You can't keep just talking behind a mic, being in meetings with people of our age and only. You have to reach out to the youth and the young people and even older people, because a lot of them, they're afraid. You know, things are not the way they used to be. We're living literally in neighborhoods, no more communities. And we have to get away from that. So what I've done since the late, meaning many years ago, my deceased husband and I, first of all, I have to share this because it's so important to me. I am a Newark resident, even though I was born in Elizabeth, and I'm the eldest of 9 children, right? I'm a member of the Moorish, Divine, and National Movement. I'm a graduate of Art Senior High School, Berkeley Secretarial Training School of Business, Essex County College, and Kane University, and the widow of my deceased private, Timothy Lee Jr. I am who I am because of them. All right. So getting back to answering your question, what I had started with my husband and one other cousin, Larry Elder Latif, that's who we call them. We started many, many years ago in my community, the White Terrace, Clinton Place, West Runyon, Howard to the People Civic Association. That is in existence to this day. Even though my husband's been gone 5 years, that is still in existence. We still meet at Leaders for Life occasionally, and sometimes we meet over there at Ron B. Christian Health and Wellness Center right there on Lyons Avenue here in Newark, New Jersey. So you have to be able to be amongst the people. And some people, I know more people are on Zooms. I have yet to learn how to do the Zooms, but I am going to put that as an initiative for me to learn to do Zooms. But the few that will come out, those are the ones that we are encouraging. And what I also want to share is that I would share with anybody, you first have to learn your purpose. You got to know who you are. You got to know what you are. You got to study yourself. You know, it's so good that you're studying other people, but who are you? And by you studying yourself, minding your business 6 months out the year, leaving other people's business alone the other 6 months out of the year, putting your hands in God's hands, let God keep his arms wrapped around you, you're going to be all right. You hear what I'm saying? We have to learn to mind our business. That means our families. That means our communities. We have gotten away from being community orientated. We are only about self. There's no more real loyalty anymore. There are very few people who are about integrity. And to me, integrity is not worse, but it's better for me to have an integrity friend like you, Umi Shivers, because in my absence, I know you're going to speak highly of me. That's all I got to say right now. I'm going to give it back to you. I won't hear what some more beautiful queens have to say.
Give her applause. That's what you got to do. Yes, I tell you, all behind Tiffany, learning from Tiffany.
She's a mentor
yeah,
and a friend.
You know, Jared, getting back to you, what motivates you? What makes you get up in the morning? You know, just what makes you get up in the morning? You've done so much and been doing so much.
Yeah, first of all, I thank God for getting up every day, and that motivates me to do more.
Yes.
And I came from a family that were, as I said, they were doers, and they taught us to do for others. And then when I got involved in Urban League and Business and Professional Women and 100 Black Women and all of these organizations and helping others, it was just really great. Because I always said that the verse is, in all thy ways acknowledge him and he will direct your paths.
Oh, praise the Lord.
And he has always directed my path.
Yeah.
And I've been able to help many, many people as I came down the road.
You have.
That's beautiful.
You definitely have, but you've gotten some accolades yourself, because I was at one of your affairs when the lieutenant governor
was applauding you for something. Talk about that.
The lieutenant governor was the first black woman to hold the position of Speaker of the House
Right.
and lieutenant governor.
Yes,
So,
yeah,
as I said, she was certainly a motivator. But with all of the help and assistance that I received in doing all of these things, it certainly was a help. And my mom always said, "Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you," and I've always tried to do that.
Yeah.
It's good thought.
And I, came from a Christian family, and we grew up in a Christian home, and as I said, helping others. And my
Right.
dad was a deacon, and my mom, I don't know how she did it, but she was the head of the missionaries for 40 years. I said, that's a long time.
They did
Yeah,
that,
of course,
right?
yeah.
But
So did
that's
my
what
mom.
they used to do. So they
Yeah.
kind of teach you about patience and
Yeah.
how to
Good
react
lesson,
and interact.
Right, you were recognized. Remember when I went in? I went to your fair. Can't
Right.
recall exactly what. Oh, that's where I met the lieutenant governor. So, what were you being recognized for that time? Just give us a.
For my community service,
Okay.
the foundation, my girlfriend has an artistic foundation, and she honors several people at her gala, and she was honoring me. And
Okay.
good.
Okay.
I-
And Jerry
yeah.
also had a business at the airport. That's something new. I got to admit. See, Jerry was my sister-in-law some years back. But you had a business at Newark Airport when it refurbished and you became
Yes.
this big thing.
it was I was vice president of the Everything Yogurt franchise. Of course, we were the first blacks in the airport, along with McDonald's,
Oh, okay. Wow.
and we had the opportunity to give young people a job and to help them to learn how to be as we were being,
Yes.
Yeah.
to helping others and learning business and knowing that we all could have a business,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
that
good.
all blacks could be involved in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That was the
That was-
first.
Yeah.
That's-
That was
that's
extraordinary.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Tiffany, being the young lady you are, you so involved in so many things and trying to lift people up at this stage of your life.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I know
yeah.
the women that you work with, the organization that I supported with, I went with you. I was so impressed because it was just women trying to do something together, loving each other, and that's that's what we got to get back
That's
to.
right, that's
So
right.
just tell us about that group, and I know it's an annual thing, right?
It is. It's so my group is called Unbothered the Movement. And it started from a t-shirt. I was angry at somebody, and I was always told that when you're in a relationship and so forth, as a lady, you don't go off. There's, and that's what I was taught in the Bible. You got to be
Right.
careful how you put your mouth on people because you can't take words back. So I made a shirt that day and said, I'm not going to be upset. I'm going to be unbothered. So I
like that.
made a shirt that said #unbothered. And one of my cousins said, you need to turn that into a movement. And I said, absolutely not, because I'm already doing a billion other things. She said to me, my Ruby, she said, just do one conference.
Right.
And now we just hit our 5th year anniversary
Oh, man,
conference.
that's
Quite
And
a
it
conference.
is-
I was there. I was honored to be there.
I was so happy that my Ruby even wanted to come. So every year, and I'm so grateful to God because it is growing. My first conference, I scheduled for reserved for 50 women to show up, and I think 75 came. This year, we did max out, to be honest with you. I had to have them open up for more space.
Right.
So it was really, really wonderful. And it's really about, it's a sisterhood. I like the word empowerment. I used to love it until I saw how people misuse the word. So I just now don't really say empowerment that much. I'll say it's a sisterhood. It's a place for sisters to come together, to cry together, grow together, learn together. And it's an outlet for us to go to, like I mentioned in the conference this year, to the next dimension. And one of the things that I was saying in the conference, hey, Ty Gaines, who I love, one of the things that I was saying in the conference was that anybody can go to the next level.
Yes,
but it's the level should be taking us to the next dimension.
That's beautiful thought.
And so we need to use these levels. Everyone says, oh, I'm going to the next level. No.
What does that mean?
If you can say that you're going to where you can see, that's not enough. So going to the next dimension is on a whole different scale to go out of this world with what God has put in us to be gifts he's put in us that need to flow from us. And honestly, the gift of just who we are, because the word says that we're created in his image. And some of these women struggle with identity in regard from heartbreak, from shame, from family brokenness, from guilt. And so the conference is to help them get their voice back and help them get to a place where they remember you could live life, be unbothered, keep it moving. Don't worry about what was, who was. All that matters is what is and what will be.
Yeah, and
so
that's going to take what we are trying to do here on this show. You know, when I use the phrase unapologetic amateur looking for expert, it's not trying to be cute. It's not trying to be a catchy phrase. It's real. If we don't realize that we need, same as any other if you say bothered thing, we've been bothered.
Yeah, we have.
And when we've been bothered, we need to know how to unbother what has happened. We can't do it just on our own. It takes experts. And see, when I use the word expert, you can be an expert in carpentry. So I'm not just talking any expert. Yeah, and I make examples. God gives me these examples to bring to my show so I can clarify what I mean. I think about the pandemic. When the pandemic came through, we all was, we didn't know what had happened because we'd never seen it in our lifetime. It hadn't happened. So we didn't know what to do. But we knew that we didn't go out looking for celebrities. We didn't go out looking for sports people. We didn't even go out looking for the President of the United States because the President of the United States told us to inject bleach. We knew we needed someone who had studied that specifically at what we call an expert. So when I use the word expert, I always try to classify it. I mean experts in Africanism, and I just kind of grabbed that term. But Africanism means experts who have, number one, studied us from our beginning, and that we were the original. That's what I hear. That's what I read. Original folk. So study us from that to when we got into the continent of Africa, how we created, made, society.
All of that.
And then once they kidnapped us, that person had to study what happened to us through the Middle Passage, what damage it did us when we got here and was hoisted on those slave blocks, and then it was snatched from our parents, kids from their parents and husbands from wives and all that kind of crazy stuff. And after that, the damage, how they stripped us of, that's what's unlike any other what you call slavery. They stripped us unlike no one else in the history of the world have been stripped of everything. We were stripped of our language, our history, our culture, our religion, all that kind of stuff. Now, having all that done, something must tell us that something happened to us. It created a lot of syndromes, and that we have experts who've written about them. The Dr. DeVore, do you know? Post-traumatic syndrome. Dr. Jeffries and all that we had on this show. I have a lot of. I'm going to keep bringing those experts on so we can kind of bring things together. It needs to be under one umbrella, I believe.
I agree.
So we can. We have leverage in demanding our reparation and stuff. If they know that we think our stuff is so serious, that it's so singularly different than anything else that ever happened to us, we got to put that in their head. One of the reasons I'm creating this little game I'm going with, I told you all, did you hear? A little game I got for all of you all. I want you to do that for me. When you meet your brothers and sisters from here on, because see, we have been taught to hate ourselves.
Right, yeah,
We've been taught that we are nobody, nothing. Our skin, we don't like it. Our hair, we don't like it. Our butts, we don't like. You know, everybody else likes it. We don't like it. So we got to look at ourselves. When I meet you on the street, instead of seeing Terry, I'm going to see King Terry. I'm going to see, King Askia, because he was a king of Africa, and they may have brought him out of here. We don't know who they brought out. When I see Jerry, I'm going to see Queen Nzinga.
That's right.
I'm going to imagine, I want all of us to do that for me for a while.
No,
imagine those folks are who we may have been, and then we'll start loving ourselves again automatically. But until that happens, we're going to need our psychiatrists and psychologists and our mental health people the same as anyone else who have gone through traumatic trauma needs. See, we're the only people that have never been sat down and say, you went through something more than any other person in the whole wide world, so we know we have to do something different. They just been throwing things at us like, you ain't no good. Our men are no good. Our men don't take care of the baby. That kind of stuff, and we bought into it. We're going to have to stop it. Just stop it, because we know it's not right. It's not. It's their lives, and they are not correct manifestations of who.
No, it's not who we are. It's not who we are.
I am so pleased to have you, young ladies. See, as I said before, I can get on the men and start. I love my men, but that doesn't mean that we don't know that we are special too. Because see, we have always undergirded these men.
That's right.
We have undergirded, and been so a lot of misunderstanding between the black man and the black woman. But that's for a reason too. That's because we have been taught against each other.
Right. And again, and I like the fact that we have these women together, and I see they're all entrepreneurs. They also have a voice. And just briefly, I just got to touch on this because I'm an author and I love authors. And Tiffany, you have a book called The Unknown Journey to Joy. How to transition from mourning to morning. Would you briefly tell us about that? Because I love the title.
Yeah.
Could you break it down a little
I
bit?
prayed and asked God about what should I call this, and that's what He gave me.
Okay.
Thank you. So
talk about it. Explain it to us.
Yeah, give us a little something about the book, please.
So The Unknown Journey to Joy, How to Transition from Mourning. And you guys can't see the book, but it's MOURNING to morning, MORNING.
Right.
That came about because I wanted to help people, their heart after dealing with grief and loss.
Oh, okay.
I got married in 2007, and 6 days after my birthday, 2 days before my wedding anniversary, a day before my grandmother's anniversary of passing, my husband died. And so I just turned 32 at the time. And so, and it's interesting because I'm going to be honest and not trying to go left field, but when you have a relationship with God, God will prepare you for things like this. So I used to have dreams that I was going to wake up and my husband would be dead, but God spared me. He passed right when I left to go to work. And so it was a pretty traumatic deal. I was 1,500 miles away because I had moved to Dallas to be with him, and it was great living out there. But he had health issues. He had diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. And I think just the weight of life, trying to make sure that his father at the time that had dementia, that he was taking care of the father, and at the same time, he was working for ABC Radio, lost his job because ABC Radio downsized his format. So it was just a lot. And I just think there comes a point where a person just says, well, I'm going to tell you what he said. His last words besides I love you to me was, Tiff, I'm tired. I didn't understand what I'm tired was. And I said, I know, I'm praying and God's going to help. It's going to be all right. I know this is a lot, but you'll be fine. And I went to work. And the phone didn't ring all day. And I called one of my girlfriends back here in Jersey, my girlfriend Asia, and I said, hey, I need you to pray. She said, what's going on? I said, well, I haven't heard from Dwayne all day, and I've been praying. And the Holy Spirit showed me, because at the time, my father-in-law was moving into the house. And I said, and the Holy Spirit has shown me that somebody's dead in my house, and I'm too scared to ask him which one it is.
Isn't that interesting?
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so a couple of years later, that was 2009, and I moved back to New Jersey 2012, and I wrote the book in 2013 because I was always asked, how are you doing? And how are you holding up? The love that I have received from then even till now has been incredible. And I think it was because I was considered young, at the time. But God is a keeper. And when you surround yourself with people that pour into you when you feel like you don't have anything to give, he will keep you in the midst of what seems like an emptiness. There's a peace that peace that surpasses all understanding is not cliche. That's a fact.
That is a
Quite a story.
And so that's where the book came from. It's a workbook, dealing with different, at the end of each chapter, there's a scripture and a spot for them to journal. And I came out with that in 2013.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much for that.
So much for that.
Just to interject a little bit about writing, it does. Sometimes everyone has a story in them. And if they think about it, I've written 5 books, but I'm writing now to my memoir, to my late son, who passed about 3 years ago. Then talking about how you connect the words, to connect the dots.
That's it.
I was in Africa years back, to North Africa, and when I deplaned right off the borders of Spain, there was a sun that I had never seen before. Now, I've seen suns before, but this sun was just extraordinarily bright and just luminous. But I thought no more about it until my son passed, my SON passed.
Yes.
And when he passed, he was always one of those, Jerry, you knew Bland. He was quite a
spark, right?
But he was from the, see, what we didn't know and what we don't know about our kids here, they are different.
Of course.
And they got more energy and a whole lot of other stuff, and then they start throwing those pills on them when they get into school and stuff like that. But we just learning that we're coming from a different stock, and our kids particularly, and particularly when you have children being taught by women, period, just women, and particularly white women. So that's the basis of our schooling, in this society, in Western society. We need a lot more men who know what men are about, and particularly black men. So when I saw that son, and when my son passed, and I said to him, oh, that's that son.
That was his son.
That's that luminous sun. And he was just like that sun. He was so exorbitant.
Of course.
And that sun I saw in Africa. So I'm writing a book about the essence of the African SUN and the essence of the African
that's
SON.
That's
yeah.
Beautiful. Look
But
forward to that book.
I'm still working on it. Okay. Still working on it. So, ladies, now let me ask you something. What advice? This is for any one of you. Jerry, I'm going to let you go first. What advice? So many people out here now hearing you. Oh, no. Norm, where are my folks?
We need to see our audience.
All of them, because I know they're calling in.
Here they are. Here they go.
Okay. There are, let me see who's calling in now.
A lot of people calling in.
Yeah, because I appreciate it so much. They know I do. I just love when they're taking notice. Askia, Ty Gaines at King University, one of my students, and a dear friend, Tiffany Barker. Okay, help the people still. Okay, Ty Gaines, absolutely. Ty again, and then Ty, and then Sheila Bird. And then Tiffany Barker, Aaliyah Bay, Ty Gaines again, Robert Cabbage Stalk. I certainly going to call him out today because he's my faithful. He's always watching, and sometimes I don't see the name. Okay, and Rose Cabbage Stalk. Okay, well, that's good. I just wanted to holler out to them, let them know I'm this is Dana Robbins, and you are Ruby Shaw. You are awesome, and your teaching and guests are what I think is awesomeness. Laura Lynn, may God be pleased with your husband. With your husband? Who's Laura Lynn? That's my niece.
That's your niece. What is she talking about?
Love you, baby.
I'm
Love you.
confused there.
Okay, now back to my guests. I just have to holler these folks out because I'm so appreciative when they come on like this.
That's
you know,
important. That's
very important. Yeah, and again, let me yell this out before my producer gets on because she wants me to always say,
That's right.
if you all love and appreciate my show,
Yeah, do some
you
housekeeping
can
here.
enjoy
You know?
this program by listening to BKS1 Radio or seeing me in person on Facebook or YouTube. You can bless this program by sending a donation to Cash App, $ Ruby Shivers, and Zelle Ruby Shiver 158 at gmail.com. Now we're going to get back to our guests who I'm just so pleased to have today because again, like I say, I know we're almost out of time, but being Women History Month, I was determined I was going to bring on
It's phenomenal women. Phenomenal
Uh-huh.
women. Phenomenal.
And I've done just that.
You
I
have.
appreciate
You
you all
have.
so much and
Thank you all.
for coming on. I think this clock here is just a little ahead of time, so let me look at my producer and see how far we are. Okay, got 5 minutes, but good. Now, to each one of you, lady, if you have some parting words for our guests, Jerry, I'm going to start on you. You have a parting word for our guests and, you know, comments that you think may be useful for them to take and go with.
Well, I'd say if you can help somebody when you pass along, then your living will not be in vain.
Definitely.
And I think that if you help people, they will help someone else,
Yeah.
and then you will feel a lot better within yourself.
Oh,
That's
definitely.
beautiful.
Now, I am vice president of the Newark Athletic Hall of Fame, and what I'm working on right now is getting Shaq to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's
Great.
that's what I'm working on right now.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful.
Tell me, Shaq O'Neal.
Yeah.
Shaq O'Neal. I know
Yeah.
a little bit about sports sometimes.
Yeah,
Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, Tiffany, what's the kind of advice you would give to our folk right here?
Parting words.
Parting words. If there is something that God has put in you to do, and it seems like it's something that you're afraid to do it.
Oh, okay.
There was a book that I was reading, and one of the things I'll never forget is when she said, "Do it afraid."
That's right.
I think sometimes we get so caught up in the fear that we forget to have faith.
Right.
And one of the things that God will do is, even if you step out on an itty bitty branch, you can have all this fear, like a handful of fear. But if you step out on an itty bitty branch of faith, something about that branch might wiggle, but you'll be able to jump higher over that faith.
That's
I
beautiful.
really believe God
Yes.
for you, for whatever it is that He puts in your hands to do. Don't sit on it. Don't let it lie dormant.
Yeah.
Go ahead and allow that thing to manifest so that you can fulfill the work and the will of God and destiny here on earth, and so that somebody else can be blessed behind what it is, the fruit that's going to come from you, and so that they know that they too can do what seemed like was impossible. Just whatever it is that's in you that you need to do, go for it. Regardless what it looks like, just do it.
Yes. And Sister Bay, what's your parting word?
My parting words is I love you, and I trust you love yourself, and I hope that whatever's going on in your life that's causing you any uneasiness, any stress, any worries, that it would turn out for the best and that you would become fruitful. And I would love you to know that working the job is fine, and know that you need to find your passion. You need to be able to want to leave something for your loved ones. We want to leave a legacy for our loved ones. So what I would like to do, just let you know that if you want to contact us today about investing in sound money, which is gold and silver, anything about being an independent health and wellness or financial literacy and financial restoration person, just give me a holler at Wisco Learning Center. That's WISOLEARNINGCTR@gmail.com. Or you can even text me at, or not text me, just call me at 856, it's the office number, 374-7407.
Okay.
Peace and
Sounds
blessings.
good. Now, just my last, my parting thought right here is, I think a couple of weeks ago I threw out a little the information, not information, we tried to do a little, not a game, but my book talk about words that
expressions
right.
that we are still saying against each other. We don't realize that they're negative all the time. We think they're true when we say certain things. That's what my book is about, verbal healing. We must reject tired, trite, tasteless, and other nonsensical expressions that keep us damaged. So what I did a little, started a little game here. I was going to, a couple of these, or each time, maybe not each time, but sometime, we were going to throw out a couple of these expressions, and then we were going to want you all to talk about how you felt about them. Then we will discuss them later. Don't be afraid, because we all learning, and we all want to know what we know and what we don't know. I'd say, for instance, we are our worst enemy. I think that was one of the ones I threw out. I threw out about 3. I wanted you all to look at them and dissect them, and then tell us what you thought about them. When we came back, we're going to discuss them, to see what it is, that, because some people do think we are our worst enemy. They don't realize certain things. Right. So we're going to talk about that. And this new thing I came up with, I told you about, Terry. Right. I'm excited about that. I want us to play games. I want for us to create, this is a game that I've created for us in order to try to redirect and think who we are. So when you're meeting any of your brothers and sisters out there from here on, don't look at them in any disheartened way. Look at them as kings and queens, possible, and it could very well be, because like we know, there were queens and kings that they kidnapped from England. So if you're looking at Queen Nzinga, think about it that way. Or King Masa Musa, think about it that way. And next week, we will bring the history of the kings that I talk about. I am so pleased. I'm blessed that we had you ladies on today. I can't thank you enough, and I say thank God for you, because you're all great. You've all done well. Okay, take care. See you next week. The end of Women's History. We're going to have some excellent women on again.
Yeah.